you said the world, you'd have no choice but to think the world is about you.
Mm-hmm.
I think about this a lot of times with superstition and religion. It's all based upon, way less evidence that the world must be all about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this about astrology, that so as I hope most of you know, astrology is fucking nonsense. It's absurd. it's absurd, but a lot of people believe it, and it's harmless, I guess, but it's ridiculous. But astrology makes sense if you believe that the Earth is the center of the universe. Like, if you believe that the Earth is the center of the universe and you have these lights in the fucking sky, and like, okay, we have the sun and the moon. The sun gives us heat and light in the day. The moon gives us light at night, and it's good for making calendars. All right. What about these other lights, though? They must mean something. Like, they have to mean something for us, because obviously we're at the center of this whole experiment here. So you start to concoct stories about it. Like, that makes sense. Like, in a world where you think that the Earth is the center of the universe, like, oh yeah, where these stars were in the sky when you were born must mean something for me. But now that we know they don't, why are we holding on to this? Like, why? Why does this even exist anymore? I don't get it.
It's incredible to me, like, because like astrology. So there's people who are just like, oh, it's just fun nonsense.
Right?
Like, oh, yeah, cool. I play fantasy football. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
But the people who actually believe it, it's just like
insanity.
It's dumber than religion, because at least religion is like, oh, this is like been around for thousands of years. Someone's got to be right. Like, it's at least, but like with this, it's just like, you're telling me that everyone who just happened to be born in this month is having their, like, just everyone. I've met people who were born the same month as I am. They're incredibly different from me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that they're the same. And that has, like, from a fucking young age, that has never made sense to me. Like, I remember, like, just reading those things. I was like, I don't understand. Why? My buddy is like nothing like me, and he was born a day after me. I don't understand how this applies to both of us.
It's all just based on magical thinking and confirmation bias. That's it. Like, the entire thing is based on that shit. And it's always weird to me when people's like, you know what I hate? I hate this so much, is that you'll be out with a group of people and be talking, and then someone will mention, hey, I'm a Libra. So I'm like, I knew it. I knew you were a Libra. I knew it. I've seen that a lot. You know what I've seen very little of? You know what I suspiciously never really see? Oh, we've been talking for 30 minutes. You're a Sagittarius. You're a Taurus. You're a Scorpio. That never happens. I see a whole lot more of the, I already knew it. I hate that shit. So I'll lie about it. I'll just say, I'm just fuck with them. It's like Whoopi Talks like, I'm a Capricorn. I knew it. Bullshit. Actually, I'm not a Capricorn. So what are you gonna say about that now? Like, that's fun to do. That's because they'll always do it. It's like, I just can't believe, like, smart people are like, yeah, this stuff is real. Then again, I say this shit about religion too, and even more people buy into religion than astrology. So I
say that about religion all the time. Like, there are very intelligent people who spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of their lives proving religion and like doing research and archaeological digging and all these things, and it's like, but you haven't solved the basic fucking contradictions of the religion. Like, you can do all this shit for me, but you really haven't like just addressed the basic questions. And you're just like, well, it's a wizard did it. Like, that's the end. They will go tooth and nail to like validate the exact day and carbon date this artifact. But then it's like, hey, so hell kind of fucked up, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. God works in mysterious ways.
Well, there's a reason they do that shit. There's a reason they focus on, like, there'll be this big news. Did you see the news article? They found Solomon's temple. They found coins with David's. It's like, all right, fine. David was real. Great. Show me God is real. That's the important question. I don't give a fuck if King David was real. I don't care about any of that shit. Human beings exist. Kings exist. I'm well aware of this. Show me that, a triune deity who spoke reality to existence exists. That's what I'm interested in learning, because that's what you're basing this entire thing on. And people keep doing it. It's just, it's frustrating. But you know what? It's none of my business, usually, until they start implementing it in politics and, bullying people and shit like that. I'm amazed at what convinces people. Like, I'm shocked sometimes to see what convinces people. It blows my mind. I knew this girl years and years ago who said that she was able to see ghosts, and I'd be hanging out at her house or whatever, and she says, yeah, I talk to ghosts, I see them all the time. And she's like, yeah, like I was just talking to a ghost today. And I was like, all right. She was like, yeah, while I was here. She goes, oh yeah. I said, okay, let me ask you a question. These ghosts, can they see? Like, can they see what's around you? She says, oh yeah, like they'll point at a picture and say that this person's been thinking of me. She was like, all right, check this out. I'm over here all the time. Next time I'm here and a ghost appears, let me know. I'll walk into the room. I'll put my hands behind my back. Ask the ghost how many fingers I'm holding up. If the ghost can do that correctly 2 or 3 times in a row, I'm going to start believing you. Guess what? Ghost never showed up again. Ghost never showed up. Weird how that works, right? It's like,
weird.
Just give me a simple experiment and you can tear this entire thing apart every single time, but they keep saying, I don't understand.
It's literally just like, those scams.
King David was pansexual. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
I believe it. I have no frame of reference.
I don't know
why King David was a pansexual, but I believe it, narrator.
He had a best friend named Jonathan that a lot of people was like, David spends a lot of time with Jonathan, so maybe that's what he's talking about. Okay, that might be it. But
yeah. Well, that wouldn't. But I mean, a gay. Like I buy gay, but pansexual is a very specific.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I feel like people didn't. Like pansexual didn't exist then as a definition. So like.
I don't know, because like our concept of homosexual and bisexual and straight didn't exist either in a lot of cultures. Like that's kind of unique. Yeah.
So if you were saying, oh yeah, most people at that time were pansexual. That's just the way it works. That I would also just be like, yeah, I believe that. I'm not even gonna like question it. I'll just believe you at face value until I see evidence to the contrary. But like, that's a very specific claim. So, narrator, if you have any other information, I am interested. I'm more interested in how we know King David was a pansexual than I am in the fact that King David was a pansexual. What the fuck were we talking about?
Religion, believing ghosts and shit. I was talking about people who said
he laid with Jonathan. Maybe there we go.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
that's who I'm named after. So that's
there you go. Jonathan was a great character in the Bible. I always thought Jonathan was cool, and I don't know if people talk about him, but Jonathan was always down. He was about like David was like, hey, and the thing was that Jonathan was Saul's son. And David was supposed to replace Saul as king, which meant that he's stealing Jonathan's job. And Jonathan's like, yeah, cool by me. I don't want to be king anyway. Like, wow, all right, this guy's pretty cool. I was thinking of another story about, I love, like proving this supernatural shit wrong is just so easy. It's like just a simple experiment. Show me proof. That's it. I had a girlfriend who said that she could read energies. She said that, I can look at someone and I can feel their energy, what kind of person they are. And she was saying that, sometimes when you're coming down the stairs, I'll know it's you instead of, my son. Or I was like, well, yeah, of course you do. Because, of the weight of the person and the gait coming down the stairs, you recognize how people walk. And so she's like, no, you say it's that, but I can feel the energy. That's how I know who it actually is. And I said, okay, let's do an experiment here. I'm going to stand in a room and you walk in blindfolded, or no, either me or your son will be in a room. You walk in blindfolded, take one step inside. Will you be able to tell just based on our energy who's in the corner? Like, how often do you think you can get that right? Because look, if you get that right with that either I'm in the room, he's in the room, or no one's in the room, and you can get this right with anything better than 33% chance, I'll believe what you say. And she's like, oh, well, I'd rather, yeah, of course not, because it's bullshit, because you can't detect people's energy. It's not how this shit works. I don't know, but people keep saying that, like, the reason you can feel people's energy is like subconscious things you recognize through people's actions, like how they're moving, how they're standing, micro expressions on their face that you're not really noticing, but it's not fucking spirit energy. People, it's not real. Like, God, it's so frustrating. I get so mad about this, and I shouldn't, but I hear people say it all the time. It's insane.
I do think there is, how do I put this? I think that the spirituality people are onto real things.
Yes.
That do exist, that we do not understand. And the thing that pisses me off is that they claim to understand.
Yes.
Like, if you told me, like, hey, yeah, no, there's plenty of shit we don't, as humans, understand. Like, animals behave in freaky ways that we don't understand. There must be something impacting them. I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's for sure a thing. Like my dog, she's got like the only way I can describe it is a vibes detector, where like she knows who's a good person and who's not a good person. She just knows it at fucking sniff, and like it's accurate like 90% of the time. like just from seeing someone, she'll like either get defensive or be like totally cool with them. And I know which of my friends are assholes, and she gets it right. Like she gets it right. And there's something beyond my understanding that allows her to do that. She knows when it's gonna fucking rain. I don't know how she fucking knows it, but she does.
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on. We don't know what it is. There's other dimensions. Who fucking knows? But it's I guarantee you it's not what the fuck whatever spiritualist you're talking to, they're not correct. And I will take the field. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I'll take the field because that's what it comes down to. It's like, I mean, it's nothing you haven't heard before, I know, but so I understand why ancient people believed in gods. I don't fault them at all. It makes
sense. Makes sense.
I would too. In fact, I did for a long time.
Someone must have done that. I don't fucking know.
Right. Yeah. So you're outside and the ground starts shaking. All right. Tell me why the ground starts shaking. And I have two people, and one of them says, I don't know. I got no opinion on this. And the other one says, there's a giant man underground shaking. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go with the giant man. Like that's a conspiracy theory is better than no theory at all. So we've had plenty of things we can't explain, and there are plenty of things we still can't explain. However, we've got religious and spiritual answers for a lot of these things. And over time, when we found out the real answer, like, oh, it's actually a natural phenomenon. Not one fucking time, not once have we ever had like a natural explanation for something. Oh, actually, it was demons the entire time. It was demons all along. We were wrong with the natural answer. So that's never happened. And I'm starting to suspect it won't happen. Like, I'm starting to suspect that's not going to be the case whatsoever. And that she might be responding to how you are around those people. This is what I say when people say that they can read people's energies. You know what a good example of this is? In the Army, I remember them talking about how, you know how you're out and you get the feeling someone's watching you? You kind of have that gut feeling. They said, I remember them training us, listen to that feeling. They say, because a lot of time you're right and you don't know it. And I remember thinking about why that would be the case. And so like I came up with, this is my headcanon theory here, that you're used to like this ambient sound around you that you can't really measure, but your brain recognizes it. And when something is off about that, like you're out in the woods, and like the sound of the bugs, like 25% less than it should be. Your brain notices that. It's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Like natural prey instincts.
Exactly. And so that's my theory on what happens. It's like, it's not something you consciously process. It's just something that you're used to when you like your brain is processing 100% of this. You're operating on paying attention to like 5% of it. But your subconscious brain is like, okay, something's up here. I don't know what it is. And that's your gut feeling. And of course, when we feel that, we can't explain it. We're like, must be from the great beyond. No, it's probably not. It's probably not. It's probably not some like ghost talking to you. It's probably just your human brain that's more complex than you could possibly imagine. And you're seeking to give agency to something that you can't understand. That's what like pretty much all spiritualism boils down to when you think about it. I mean, in my opinion, at least.
There is a very related thing that I've thought about a lot. And like there's a part of me, I'm like, it's definitely confirmation bias. Like I know it's confirmation.
Ton of confirmation bias.
But there's another part of me that's like, but it happens a little bit more often than I would expect if it was just confirmation bias. And what it is when you're looking at someone and they very immediately look up directly at you and make eye contact. And I've done it too, where it's just like I look up and someone's like looking at me and I make eye contact with them, and just happens to be the area I looked up to in that moment was exactly where the person was looking at me from. And like, I know, have you noticed this before? Because like, I know it's confirmation bias, but like it's bizarre how often like you're just looking at someone and they happen to glance up directly into your eyes. Like it doesn't make sense to happen by random chance.
I never really thought it was anything other than that. I've really never thought, because that has happened to me, but I never thought it was weird, because it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't always happen. I mean,
it doesn't always happen. So it's very much not from, but just think about like, like all of the directions they could have glanced, infinite number of like angles they could have taken, and how often they glance up directly into your eyes. It just seems like it happens more than it statistically should. I'm not saying it's mysticism.
I don't know about that one,
but it does. Maybe it's another. I don't know, but it feels like you can feel someone's eyes on you. And you know that you can feel someone's eyes on you in certain situations. Yeah. You definitely can. And like there's other factors there, but I don't know. There could be something there, is all I'm saying. I don't know what it is. But
yeah, I just like, you'd have to go a long way to convince me it's magic that does that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's magic, but it could be a prey instinct. It could be a prey instinct that taps into another dimension that we aren't we're aware of. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? That's what I say about the supernatural. Is that I say that I don't believe the supernatural exists. Not only that, I say the supernatural cannot exist. It's impossible. I say that because if something was real, like a different dimension, and we could prove it, it would cease to be supernatural. It would just be part of the natural universe. So it would just be natural. Yeah. So like supernatural is just, a word people use to describe something that they can't explain and come up with an explanation that makes sense to them. An explanation that's sufficient, but not necessary. It's like, oh yeah, this is why whenever people talk about, so I believe that it's more likely than not that aliens exist in the universe. Yeah. I mean, it's massive. Like it's got to in some fashion. And I don't believe for a second that they walk among us, that they're here, and that the people see alien craft. No, I don't buy that at all. And because even the most convincing story about a UFO, okay, sure, it could be an alien, it could be an extra dimensional traveler, it could be a time traveler, it could be a ghost, it could be a demon, it could be a fairy, it could be a robot from the future. Who knows? And so, like, just saying that it's an alien is like, okay, that's just a guess. That's not better than any other. It could be Batman. Who the fuck knows? Like, you're just making shit up. And so, I mean, really, like, I don't understand why people got, this is definitely aliens, man. It's like, no, you don't fucking know what it is. Honestly, all it is something that you can't explain, but you're desperate to have an answer for it. So you'll latch on to anyone you can. I don't know. It just seems like lazy thinking to me.